Welcome to part 2 of our series on biological threats to drone flight. In part 1, I explained how the pilot in command represents the single greatest biological threat to drone flight, and I will expand on that a little further right now. This pilot in command disseminated some incorrect information in the previous video when I stated that it takes 90 days to get permission to fly in many places in my city. That is simply not correct. It takes up to 90 days to get a waiver to fly in special conditions that are outside of FAA Part 107 regulations. Getting permission to fly in controlled airspace can happen in a matter of seconds by way of the Kitty Hawk app that is available from the Google Play Store and the Apple Store. It's a very handy app that represents an overall philosophy in the aviation industry of providing tools that allow for pilots of all levels to engage in the safe use of the national airspace. Even recreational flyers are able to get clearance to fly in controlled airspace now, which is a remarkable leap forward. I apologize for any confusion I may have caused in the previous video. I was not yet licensed by the FAA. I was studying for the exam that I had to keep putting off for one reason or another. I encourage every drone pilot to get their FAA Part 107 license because it just makes you a better pilot, and that is in everyone's interest. Besides, it's a fascinating course of study that will probably fuel a desire for even greater training opportunities, which is also in the public interest. That being said, there are certain things that the FAA manual doesn't prepare you for, and this is an example of the importance of developing quick and effective aeronautical decision-making methodologies based on your experience. Depending on how and why you fly your drone, you may be asked to provide video services for sporting events. Here in Florida, that may well entail you flying over a golf course. The golf course is a unique environment. The well-manicured course provides a nice view, but golf courses are typically home to a variety of wildlife that make for some excellent aerial cinematography opportunities. In addition to the wildlife, there are the golfers themselves. They typically don't like drones. Sometimes they shank a ball your way, and if they actually hit you, it could impair your ability to safely fly your drone. It is very easy for a pilot to get so caught up in being at the right place at the right time to get a perfect shot of the action taking place on the green that the pilot neglects to notice that his are not the only eyes in the sky that are looking to take a shot at something. This is not something that is covered in the FAA manual. Had I been more observant, I would have realized that a bird of prey was flying a combat air patrol near me. By flying patrol, I mean exactly that. This bird is flying back and forth in a specific airspace just above the green. I should have been able to see this either on the ground or from my drone, but my view from the drone is displayed on a Samsung Galaxy phone that is attached to my controller. Clearly, I need a bigger screen so that I won't miss stuff like this. Here we see a golfer lining up his shot. I've already got my shot lined up. The sun is at 8 o'clock high in relation to the orientation of my drone, and as the golfers are getting lined up, we see a telltale shadow on the green that indicates that I have a fellow aviator in close proximity, flying slow between my drone and the sun, in order that he may remain unseen as he checks me out closely and maneuvers in to take up a strike position directly behind me. Thankfully, someone who was working the tournament acted as a spotter and declared an emergency. "Hey man, you're about to get jumped by a bird." For a second there, I thought we had Brian Fellows on the golf course with us. My prior experience with other wild animals who are moving into attack mode is to do something that startles them. Something that changes their perception of me and causes them to have to reassess their plan. This bird thinks that I am another bird, so I have to do something that no bird can do. I make a rapid vertical ascent with no forward motion. At that point, Mr. Stalker decides to break off his attack by banking to port and giving me a high-speed flyby as he takes another look and circles back around for another strike. That is just enough time for me to safely get out of the air. That bird was simply not going to tolerate my presence, and I don't blame him. I was in his controlled airspace, his established hunting grounds. I could only be perceived as a competitor, and competitors cannot be tolerated. I now have a greater appreciation for why it is that it is illegal to fly a drone over a national park. A bird of prey can knock a drone out of the sky with ease, and when the drone impacts the ground, there is a high likelihood of battery fire, which could easily start a ground fire that could quickly get out of control. Thankfully, in this case, I was able to get my aircraft back on the ground safely, and I really owe it to this man right here. I don't even know his name, but if he wasn't watching my drone as I had my eyes on the controls, this story might have had a different ending. If you enjoyed this video and are considering purchasing a drone, or maybe already have a drone, I encourage you to immerse yourself in study to become an FAA licensed commercial drone pilot. Having a full understanding about all that is required to safely enjoy the national airspace is something that you will find to be fascinating, but not only that, it will make you a better pilot, and that will save you a lot of needless heartache and grief. More than likely, it'll save you a lot of money too. All American Show Productions offers aerial videography services to the public. We do events, real estate, land surveys, damage assessments. We can even scout out some hunting spots for you if you need it. If you need a bird's eye view of anything for any reason, we can provide it. See us on the web at www.allamericanshowproductions.com. Follow us on Facebook or give us a call at 904-325-7788.